Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And I got this aggressively average content for you today. As ladies and gentlemen, to get started, we have to understand that rate cuts are coming. And so is the money printer. The Fed expects 3 rate cuts in 2024 will be 100% a political move. During election years, politicians are incentivized to make the economy look amazing. And a way that they do this is by deflating the bubble by cutting rates. Rate cuts typically lead to market crashes. And here, when you take a look at the Dow Jones, that's exactly what happened. Back in 2020, this massive V that occurred in the stock market, they'll say it's because of C19, but it's also because of rate cuts with C19 as a cover. They hide big, massive political moves and financial moves under the guise of a crisis or a quote-unquote random black swan event. And ladies and gentlemen, as the stock market is in new all-time high territory, all I want you to do is to stay vigilant and pay attention. There will be another moment like C19 in my opinion, but that could also lead to a brand new bull run in regards to crypto due to the inflation that will ensue. I think 2024 is going to go down in history as the year of inflation. And I think many of you will probably agree, because as this is happening, crypto is setting up for one of the most magical spectacles that will ever occur. And here, Mike Novogratz stated that a spot Bitcoin ETF will be approved before January 10th. And my friends, this correlates heavily with waters above technical analysis. I don't believe Bitcoin will hit new all-time highs in this short weekly window that we have into the new year, but I do expect the price to rise aggressively. We had our healthy pullback, and if Mike Novogratz wants to have his reputation stay intact, and if this is true, oh my goodness, we're going to have a nice little profit-taking opportunity and extreme green in the coming days. Pay attention, my friends. I'm more bullish than I've ever been before.
A little victory lap. Listen, the Fed's pivot is really important. That press conference was as dovish as anybody expected. And the markets are behaving that way. You look at, fixed income markets, equity markets, they all are now trading a Fed pivot. And is it, March, January, or do they wait till the April meeting? We'll see. We'll see what their narrative is. We'll see what the inflation data is. But this is all based on inflation coming down, and it's not based on growth collapsing. And so they shifted to a more inflation-focused Fed, which gives them the room to cut rates. I think crypto likes it. We're going to get this ETF before January 10th. That's kind of the drop dead date that Gensler has before he gets in trouble with Grayscale and the lawsuit. And so I think you're going to see this, announced. It won't start trading then, right? That probably takes 6 to 8 weeks after that. But it's just more fuel for a fire.
And ladies and gentlemen, I have to stress what Mike Novogratz said is exactly what we've been discussing on this channel. And Gary Gensler is losing power, not just because of Ripple, not just like what Novogratz stated with Grayscale, but because Coinbase is also giving Gary the hammer. Coinbase has sued the SEC after a denial of its transparent crypto regulation proposal, and good. They done fucked up. They awakened an animal. And the crypto industry will defeat the SEC time and time and time and time again, because innovation will always win. Even the SEC's Hester Pierce stated that a spot Bitcoin ETF should have been approved over 5 years ago. She continues to fire shots and other big time market insiders are letting you know how bullish they're going to be on this space. Guys, I 100% believe in news for the classes versus news for the masses. But what you need to realize is these people are going to FOMO you into a Bitcoin ETF being passed. Sell the top of the ETF. People will then get disinterested as the price crashes. But then after that pullback, 2024 is going to be a spectacle. We have an opportunity to profit right now in the coming weeks. And then we have an opportunity to buy back after the massive correction that I do believe will come shortly thereafter.
We haven't had a chance to touch base about this person. When did you get into Bitcoin? Because this is a really big thing for you and for the fund, for the firm and everything.
Yeah, 2017.
Okay.
So we were the first established ETF player to file for a Bitcoin related ETF.
Your personal interest, or what drove it?
It was me, but listen, gold. My dad started the firm with the first gold fund in the United States, and so store of value investing is in our DNA. And I said, oh, man, what's this Bitcoin thing? And I knew about it, and I said, well, you've got to do the deep dive. So I listened to the podcasts, read the white paper, and I said, no, this is going to be an accompaniment of gold. And, when I try to talk to people who are so doubtful about Bitcoin, I said, listen, that was in 2017, it was $3,000 a Bitcoin. It's up 10x from now. It's just, why are you surprised? Remember China? Large parts of China were completely undeveloped and unindustrialized 30 years ago, but things change, right? And so I think Bitcoin is the obvious asset that is growing up in front of our eyes.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, while this is unbelievably bullish and the narrative has been painted already for a seismic shift in crypto prices with the Bitcoin ETF on the horizon, I can already tell you what the news is going to be to cause the crash. Boom, Bitcoin ETF gets passed. Boom, Elizabeth Warren drops a bombshell on the Blockchain Association. They're trying to sponsor a bill. They're trying to make crypto illegal. And it's not about whether or not this news gets passed. It's about the fact that it'll cause fear amongst retail at a high level. All I want you to do is to pay attention, my friends. And look, as the co-sponsor of Elizabeth Warren's Bitcoin ban bill, admits that the bankers themselves helped Warren write the bill.
Senator Warren and I have authored the Digital Asset Anti-Money Laundering Act that represents a step in the right direction. Again, I think that this is a light touch. The first thing we did is we went to the American Bank Association and said, help us craft this. And I don't know if you saw Senator Warren's hearing with Jamie Dimon yesterday, but Mr. Dimon said basically, in his opinion, crypto is only a tool for criminals. And I think that, again, it's that light touch by the federal government as opposed to a heavy touch as well.
And not only that, but Elizabeth Warren was also caught on TV discussing this as well. This is why, as Crypto Eddie posted, that the Fair Shake, quote unquote, the federal crypto super PAC that was joined by Ripple, Coinbase, Circle, and others appears to have numerous people scared. We're about to reach a climax of a moment between innovation and crypto versus the federal government. And I think it's going to be a fireworks display of a show. I think crypto is going to beat the government. I think we're going to get our bull run. But nobody said it wasn't going to be a bumpy ride.
Senator, you and GOP Senator Roger Marshall have co-sponsored a crypto regulation bill that would largely, I'm sure you'll correct me if I'm wrong on this, it would largely strip the veil of privacy from crypto transactions. And critics claim that would damage the already wobbly crypto market and erode privacy rights. What about it?
John, you've been listening to too many crypto industry talking points here.
Senator Marshall talked about the bill, the digital asset anti-money laundering legislation. He shared, and I don't think this was known, but he shared that the American Bankers Association wrote the bill.
What?
So he said, and we have a recording of it. We will be releasing it soon, so you can see it and hear it with your own eyes. he had, his notes that his staff wrote him. So he's at the podium. He forgot the name of the bill. He stumbles through just even saying the name of the bill. So, you can kind of tell he's relying on other people to, pull this legislative initiative together. He doesn't get the name right, stumbles through it, says, yeah, we went to the banks, the American Bankers Association, got us the language. And then he ends his talk by, oh, and that's really all I know about crypto. So he also divulged that he doesn't have an understanding of the technology itself.
So Hamas, for example, has used crypto as a way to help finance its activities, both before October 7th and after October 7th. Countries like Iran and North Korea and Russia have used crypto to be able to evade sanctions. Drug traffickers, the kingpins at the top, they use crypto as a way to be able to move their money around and their activities. Ransomware, you know ransomware, right? You want to guess what proportion of ransomware is financed by crypto? 100%. The whole business model doesn't work without crypto.
Guys, it's always interesting to me how the most corrupt organizations on the planet end up putting the most bills in place to keep their corruption alive. Innovation is the enemy of the incumbents. The middlemen are scared. The bankers are afraid. This is their last stand. And a clash of titans is on its way in 2024. Now, guys, to cap off this video for today, we have Lane Reddig, a former developer at the Ethereum Foundation, stating, I felt like I was just pumping Joe Lubin's bags. The XRP army has been in the front lines of helping expose Ethgate. And while he stated we will never have another Bitcoin-like scenario, which was an immaculate conception, and what I want you to listen to from him is how a lot of the rumors and the things we've been discussing for years have been 100% true. For those of you just hearing this, you're about to be shocked. But I think the XRP army is right on the money in regards to what's been happening in regards to Ethereum. John Deaton earlier today had an interview on his channel with Steven Neroff, formerly at Ethereum. And he, in that interview, dropped some absolute bombshells. I hope you all take a listen to that, as I leave every single one of you with this. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bearable Bull here. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. Now I'll be back tomorrow with another video.
I said, I'm going to keep an open mind. I don't care what they pay me. I don't care if they pay me. I want to maximize learning. I want to travel. And thank you, Ethereum Foundation, for giving me the opportunity to do that. It was very eye-opening. But after a year, 18 months, I was like, holy shit, like, what am I really doing here? I'm really pumping Joe Lubin's bags. All due respect to Joe Lubin and all the other, Ethereum whales. It's just not what I want to do. And the reason for that was largely the pre-mine, right? Because at that moment, 70%, 70% of all the Ether in existence as of a couple years ago had been distributed in the pre-mine. Today, it's about 60%. It's been diluted a little bit, right? So I don't know where you draw. I don't know what the right number is. I mean, we will never have another Bitcoin. We'll never have another immaculate conception. Again, I don't know if the right number is 10%, 15%, 20%. You could draw the line wherever you want. 70, 80, 70, 60 it's too much. It's just too much by almost an order of magnitude.
And who are the biggest holders within that? I know Vitalik, but I don't.
Vitalik's holdings are public, by the way. He's very transparent.
And I don't. The strange thing about Vitalik is I don't see him as financially driven.
He's not. Trust me, I know him. He's not.
Yeah. Whereas Joe Lubin clearly is.
He's a businessman.
Yeah. So Vitalik, Joe Lubin, who are the other key? Charles Hoskinson, perhaps.
I mean, here's the thing: we other than the very small number of people like Vitalik who are public, also the Ethereum Foundation multi-sig wallet address is public. We don't know.
Okay.
We don't know. I can assume that the people who happen to be the crypto bros that happened to be in the room at that time, and the very small number of investors who kind of got Ethereum circa 2015 did very well.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So you've joined the foundation.
But the point is, it's on the order of a few hundred people, maybe 1,000, maybe a couple thousand people, right? It's a very small number of people.
But within that, there's a few who have very significant interest.
Yeah, it's a very long tail. And, I've heard rumors, this is totally anecdotal, that like a very small number of individuals, like 1 or 2-ish people, single-handedly bought up like very large percentages of the pre-mine, basically the ICO,
Okay.
because they were able to participate pseudonymously. There were no limits.